Well, I'm just finishing my video. Oh, bloody hell. Okay. Anyway, yeah, there's been, like I said, this parking lot out here. It's like a racetrack, but there's nobody out here. I guess what else are they gonna do? There isn't anybody out here to get hit, and there's nobody. Well, there's somebody going slow, but they're on the cell phone. So, well, it's not really a cell phone now, is it? It hasn't been called a cell phone for years, but everybody still calls it a cell phone. It's the wireless. No, it's the 5G. Shouldn't be, but it's becoming that way. But yeah, there's nobody out here, so they're just racing up and down in front of the stores because there's no peeps. Good thing, but I have a feeling they wouldn't be doing that if there were a lot of people out here. So, but anyway, what I was going to say before I abruptly left, I guess there wasn't, it was false alarm, but then I went back to pick up where I left off, and to the pause. As I just paused the video, I didn't actually like stop it. Now I'm gonna have to go and upload to YouTube, and then I'm gonna have to get into the editor and I'm gonna splice some stuff, and then just wanted to have a little muck about here. I didn't want to, get into everything. But anyway, it's good practice, right? It's like reading a 25-page article. Good practice for tedium. It's good practice for, reading shorter articles, I guess. But anyway, getting back to Randy Jackson, Mark Hollander. Yo, Mark, shout out. And Randy, good music, dude. Mark's right. Me and Mark are the only ones listening. Well, I'm sure there was other guys, but I stayed on that whole like an hour and a half back last week, and I'm like, someone as good as this guy is. I mean, you were hitting those Robert Plant notes, and Robert Plant was a young guy. I mean, okay, drugs and all back in the 70s, but he was hitting those, crazy notes. And, Robert had Powered by Devil Power, he was doing all the drugs. But man, he was like screaming, demon notes. And, but Randy, he was like, his face all contorting, I was thinking he was doing all the John Lennon songs and Paul McCartney songs and the lesser Beatles. Yeah, he was doing all of those guys, and and I was thinking, it almost just seemed like it just seemed like it was them, with a little bit of Southern Nolans y'all kicked in there, just a little bit of South kicked in there, and it was good, really good. And I'm definitely I didn't join in the little the live. What is it, Facebook Live or Watch Party, or anyway, I didn't join in this time because I'm out and about. So, but anyway, that's it. That's all. I just wanted to say hi to Mark and Randy, and give him major shout out, kudos, and that he sounded on his Led Zeppelin and Beatles stuff was amazing. I mean, I was like, and all the stuff, all the old 70s and 80s bands and guys, and even in the into some of the newer stuff. But yeah, he's nailing it. And so I mean, Randy's gonna keep singing forever. I mean, guys, like, amazing. Anyway, so if y'all get a chance to, just check it out, and check out Mark Hollander, and pick up his feed because he does a lot of this. He broadcasts a lot of his music. So if anybody hears this and cares to, it's definitely worth a listen. But a lot better than a lot of things that you might be tempted to listen to. Yeah. So I guess that's it. There's something over there that's interesting. This is just so totally random, but then again, this whole video is random. And can anybody tell me what this is? And I'm not gonna flip the screen around. Can anybody tell me what this is? And it's kind of giving you a false color. It's actually kind of a purple. I'd say it's kind of a violet purple, but it's looking a little kind of it looks completely different. Almost looks like a rose color, but it's not. It's a purple violet. But it's probably because of the mercury lighting up on top up there. Oh, it's the moon. No, it's not. Anyway, no, this is a oleander. And I say that because I hardly ever see it. And why? Someone asked why. Oh, someone over there asked why. No, they didn't. But it's because oleander is a poisonous plant. And if a child, or an adult for that matter, a stupid adult, or a naive, ignorant adult, it doesn't have to be stupid, but relatively, yeah, stupid, got some of that on your skin or your mouth, you know, you might have to go down, pay a visit real fast down to the ED. So, or if a child ate some of the leaves or ate, you know, some of those real purty flowers on there, it's not good. So pets, you know, pets eating those things, or so you don't see them. They used to use them a lot in landscaping. I know that because my ex-brother-in-law and my sister, they sold a lot of, they had nursery and they sold a lot of landscaping plants, and I know those were very popular around the Orlando area for landscaping, but I hardly ever see them. And here they are in North Florida in the middle of a Butler Plaza parking lot. I never see those. It's weird. So I guess these people, maybe they came up with a hybrid non-poisonous oleander. But I was trying to remember, I was talking to someone who's you know, just a few years younger than me, and they didn't even know what an oleander plant was, you know, a foliage, shrub or tree. And I said, oh, you know, oleander, and her sister, brother-in-law and the sister's sister-in-law, she was getting married to this guy. His name was Leander. Unusual, true, but anyways, nice guy. And I was like, in Leander, I said, well, that reminds me of, I'll never forget his name, because that reminds me of the plant oleander. And she's like, huh? She gives me that deer in the headlight stare. And then her younger sister, who's kind of a brainiac, well, they're all pretty smart, but the younger sister's really smart. And she's looking at me, and she doesn't know. I mean, the girl can speak Mandarin, for goodness sakes. You know, and I'm like, what? And she doesn't know what, you know, oleander. And so I was out with Barry and his wife the next day. His wife, Rachel, was the sister of the one that was marrying Leander. And like say, oh, Leander. Anyway, so, and I said, there's one of those plants, and it's so rare, they're hard to find. Anyway, so who cares, right? But it's a story. Random. Okay. So it was just so unusual, and I'm kind of like plants and trees and stuff like that. Sorry. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't, well, you didn't have to listen. All right. Well, signing off. And not soon enough, right? Okay. Before I say something really brilliant, or not, I better go. All right, y'all have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed weekend, and I hope you're not sheltering in place. Florida is opening up. We can go into stores like Target. Right there, see the big red dot? As long as you have a mask on, but you gotta have, they make you wear like a mask with the big red dot here, and then there's like a carbon filter inside the dot. Do you believe that? Yeah, they pass them out. They make you wear the Target mask, and they're using it as a form of advertising. It's shameless capitalism. They said they just got him in from China. I just made that up, sorry. Okay, we'll talk to you later. This is a long one. Well, this was only less than 10 minutes. The other one was, I don't know, 7 minutes or 10, something. It doesn't matter. Does it really matter? If you're still here, then it's cool. We'll talk about something substantive one of these days. But I thought I thought people like random sometimes because everything's so serious and so pointed and and there's this guy. Okay, I was gonna get onto something else, but this guy, I really like this. He's a news guy. He's excellent actually, and he has my name, so it's easy to remember, Tim. But his name Tim Pool. Just remember, like swimming. Just think of Florida, a lot of pools. Tim Pool. But anyway, he's not in Florida. I don't think he is. No, he talks very fast. I mean, he's but very articulate and very bright guy. I would say he's probably a northeastern guy, but I can't really pick up an accent. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, he's not liberal and he's not conservative. He's somewhere in between. I just think he just comes across as what Fox News says they've always been, fair and balanced. No, he tries to be. And so anyway, I highly recommend Tim. Check out Tim Pool. Even the Libbies can tolerate him somewhat, but he tends to nowadays point out all their hypocrisy. But he's like, I've been a liberal most of my life. He's kind of moving more away from that version of liberal. He said they're just so radically to the left. It's crazy. So what he considers liberal is, like today's normal. And so anyway, he just, he talks about a lot of things, political things, and he talks about some things that the lamestream media will never talk about. And even you Fox News lovers, I know, okay, sometimes Tucker and Sean Hannity is pretty predictable. Everybody's kind of predictable. Everyone, Fox News. But every now and then they'll have a good guest on there. But I've already heard them and everything they have to say on some social media platform or on their website or some other platform. And it's like, okay, so why even listen to it? I don't. So every now and then, though, it's interesting the spin that they put on it in order to make it more palatable for mainstream folk. Yeah. It's interesting, though. Sometimes it's good to come down and enter into the scope and sphere of the normal people that aren't confronted every day with massive amount of the conspiracy theories and conspiracies, legitimate conspiracies, and the conspiracy theories that much of us on social media are barraged with continually in a superfluous way all the time. And it's kind of, so we get hit with such heavy duty conspiracies all the time that it's just like you almost become numb to it and it just becomes too much. And then when you hear real news, it's like, that's nothing. So Madagascar fell in the Indian Ocean. Big deal. Who cares? I mean, that's no big deal. Compared to stuff we've been listening to, that's nothing. And now, wait a second. That didn't happen. I'm just an exaggerate. It's called hyperbole. And for those of you in Loma Linda who think that was hyperbole, no, it's hyperbole. Exaggeration, obvious exaggeration to make a point. Okay. All right. So Tim Pool, Randy Jackson. He's really good. And Mark, I was going to say, Mark, I haven't heard you on you and your buddy there that had your little internet radio gig. I haven't heard y'all on. Maybe you're still doing your thing, but we should get on there sometime. And I think I heard you once or twice. Y'all were just winging it. It's kind of funny, though. Anyway, and you were up in New York City at some bar, or I don't know, some restaurant and being rowdy. You were in a good mood, though. It was was it last fall or something? I can't even remember. When was that? That was, I can't even remember when that was. It was last year sometime. And then your buddy was back at headquarters, with all his tech team, all those buttons and knobs. And you're like, woo, okay, we're back to Mark. And Mark's like loud music. Hey, yeah, man, it's so cool, yeah. Yeah, the New World Order, yeah. Okay, Mark, yeah, we're going over to Cindy Hollins. And boom. Yes, and it's true. The Earth is flat. Okay, Cindy, and what do you think about? And Cindy starts to answer, and then okay, back to Mark, and Cindy gets cut off because she's so mild spoken. She's very articulate and smart, but I mean, she's just so easygoing and very, and so she gets steamrolled pretty easily. I used to say, Cindy, they always ask you questions, but they never let you finish your thought. And that's just not right. But anyway. I'm glad you're not doing that too much anymore. It's bad to say. Okay. Shout out to everybody, all my friends. It's weird. I know if a lot of you have said this, and this is so random again, but everybody, this is just such a common thing that everybody says, but I'm going to say it because so many of you have said that to me and to each other. I read it. But and so many of you have said that to me in private messenger, not to me necessarily personally, just in general, but you've said it to me and stated your opinion. I just didn't want to, misrepresent that as everyone's telling me just about me. No, it's not the case. But they did share their opinion with me that, and it is true, those of us that have, these, we'll just say truthers for the sake of, okay, most of us are in this truther realm of understanding our world. Okay, people just say, I'm woke. Okay, it's not proper English, but whatever. Woke people. Not Diet Coke, not Diet Woke. All the way woke. The full high octane woke. It's like once you've been hanging out with people like that, and people that you can relate to and express yourself, and then you're going, yeah, that's true. And then they have some enlightenment, and then you have enlightenment, and then you're digging into stuff, and then more people are joining in. Then they see what you're about, and then people all over the world, and from Jakarta, and God, you name it, the Philippines, and Russia, and everywhere. I mean, Croatia. I can't even begin to tell you all the countries. I mean, Egypt. I mean, the guy from Egypt's like, oh, Tim, you need to come and buy some of my, what kind of goats were they? Horse goats. I invest in my horse. And he's sending me pictures of his horse goats. These are the unbelievably big goats. I mean, these things were huge. But anyway, he's a nice guy. These Muslims, don't be cracking hard down on the Muslims. Normal Muslims are like good people. Okay? They're just as good as good normal Christian people here in this country and in the West or anywhere you could find good normal Christian people. I'm just saying, they're not all a bunch of radicals. People don't need to stereotype. Just because we have radicals within it, call themselves so-called Christians, and they have radicals that call themselves, it's just, please. All right, I just needed to say that. But anyway, people over the world, and what I was going to say is you end up feeling closer to you all. I feel closer to you all than I do even my lifelong friends, sorry. Because I spend so much time reading your posts, interacting, private messaging, sharing things on private messenger, because, we do that. Why? Well, the biggest reason we do that is because we don't want to get shut down. You start posting everything online, and then you're in Facebook jail, and you're 3 days, then a week, then 10 days, and some people are getting shut down for a month. It gets crazy after a while. Anyway, I only got about a minute to go. But, so I just wanted to say that I really appreciate everyone I've got a lot of new friends, and thank God I've dropped off some dead wood. I don't have to drop off people. People I think get offended by some things that I put out, and they go, "Well, I'll get away from that guy." Thank you. You did me a favor. I didn't have to spend hours, or like Cindy, asking pointed questions. Who believes this way? And she goes down the list. Dead, and block. I just was cracking up. It's okay. That's one way of doing it. But I was like, I'm myself and enough people. And if they get crazy, then I block them. I'll give them a chance. If they don't get crazy, then I'm trying to maybe influence them, and maybe I'll learn something. Hey, who says we all know it all? Nobody does. So we just always have to be open-minded enough to be able to learn from each other, even if we're a lot different from each other. So I want to say I really appreciate all my friends and people that I've met on Facebook, and I really do consider you like friends. And I think by doing this little video here, that I think, we're getting down to 30 seconds, but we're starting to get to some good stuff, and I'm almost done. But I feel that it's so important to do this and to reach out, and I appreciate you, and I want to say that you're my thoughts and my prayers, and we're almost done. 7 seconds. So God bless, and we'll talk to you more later when my phone memory has more memory.